Welcome to Coder Station.
Hey guys, welcome back to Coder Stations. This is the ultimate Kotlin tutorial. We are on episode 4 of it, where we are going to learn about operators. If you have missed on the first 3 episodes, I would highly recommend watching it. But without any further ado, let's begin. So today, we're going to learn about 2 things, that is the arithmetic operators and the relational operators. So what exactly are arithmetic operators? These are basic are plus, minus, multiplication, division and modulus. So we have all learned about the plus, minus, multiplication, division in our maths classes, right? Plus is basically the operator, and for example, if we have a plus b and a is 1 and b is 2, so a and b are the operands and the middle, that is the plus, is the operator. This is basically the addition of 2 numbers, minus the subtraction of 2 numbers, the asterisk symbol is the multiplication sign for our code, and the division is the basic forward slash. And we have a new operator called as modulus operator, which basically divides the 2 numbers and retains the remainder. This is the modulus operator. To better understand this concept, let's get on to the code part of it. So we are the code part of it. I have made a new operator project. So let's create a new file, Kotlin file. Let's name it operators. So my file is created. Let's use the main boilerplate. So let's create 2 variables, a is equals to 13 and variable b is equals to 2. So as you can see, we have created 2 variables, variable a and variable b. To check what type of variable this is, what we can do is best Control Shift P on the keyboard. And as you can see, it's an integer type of variable. So let's add these 2 variables, println a plus b. Okay, so if I print this statement, what will the output be? Yeah, you're right, it will be 15, right? Because a 13 plus 2 15. And what we are doing here is we are doing exactly that. So if I run this program right now, as you can see, the output is 15, right? Okay, so I know that the output is 15, but if a new programmer comes into my code, he should also understand before running the program that the output should be 15. So what we can do is we can use something called as comments. So let's talk about comments. So comments are basically used for better code readability. So if a new programmer comes to our code base, he should understand what exactly the code is doing. So we use comments for that. Write comments, we have to use something called as double slash. This double slash means that the whole line will be commented. Anything above in front of this will be commented. That means the interpreter or the compiler will not understand what is there and will just skip that part of the program. So let's write the output of this, that is 15. Now let's use the minus or subtraction, a minus b. Let's write the output of this. What will be the output of this? 13 minus 2 is 11. So let's also do this println for a into b. So 13 into b, 13 into 2 is basically 26. Let's do a divided by b. So a divided by b will give us 6.5, but let's see if it gives 6.5 or not, because we are dealing with 2 integer numbers and not float number. So let's run this, and as you can see, it is giving me 6 as output, but we need 6.5, right? The actual answer should be 6.5. So why it is doing that? Because we are dividing 2 integer numbers. So when we divide 2 integer numbers, instead of giving 6.5 as answer or anything floating answer, it would rather give us a static answer like integer answer like 6. So to counter this, what we have to do is we have to convert one of these 2 numbers into a float value. How we can do that is by giving it a actual value, like from here if I do colon float. Now if I do 0.0, so now this is a float value, right? And this is one way of doing it, but what is a better way of doing it if you want to do it dynamically? So I can remove this. Okay, so I've removed this. So what we can do is we can go to this part where we want to convert the a value into a float and use the function called as toFloat. This function is used to basically convert this value, the a value that is 13, into a float value. So if I run this, yeah, now we can see the output is 6.5. You can also convert this using double, to byte. There are many more ways. You can also convert it to int, but it's already int number, so it will not convert. It's not needed, right? So let's convert it to float. Yeah. So this is the basic arithmetic operators, and we have one more operator as I talked about, that is the modulus operator. So if we divide a by b, sorry, not divide, module. So if we modulus, that is the percentage symbol, a modulo b, output should be 1, because when we divide 13 by 2, it will give a remainder that is 1, because 13 is not divisible by 2. As you can see, the remainder is 1. So that these are the basic arithmetic operators. Let's move on to the next part, that is the relational operator. Okay, so arithmetic operators are done. Let's move on to the next part, that is the relational operators. These are basically used to compare two operands, that is if a is greater than b, less than b, many more. So what we have here, we have the less than, we have the greater than, we have the less than or equal to, we have the greater than equal to, and equal to and not equal to. So let's move on to the code part to understand this better. So what exactly are relational operators? They are used to compare two values, as I said, a and b. So let's try to compare one of them. So let's do println a greater than b. So if I run this, it should give me the output as 13 greater than 2. That should give me the output as true, right? Because 13 is greater than 2. If I run this, as you can see, the output is true. So let's type in all the things. So let's print okay, so we've written down all the possible arithmetic operators, and let's see, I've also commented all of them, and let's see if my comments are correct or false. As you can see, the first answer is true, then is false, then is true, false, true, false, right? So this is basically the comparison of two numbers. So as you can see, the first one is 13 greater than 2. So yes, it is greater than 2, so it's giving me the output as true. Then let's do 13 less than 2, which is false, as we are comparing over here. Same with this. So here basically what we are doing is 13 equal to 2. That means if they're checking that the two operands are equal to each other. If I convert this 13, this b as 13, and if I run this now, so now this output should be true and this should be false, because what we are doing here, we are checking if both of them are equal or not. If they are not equal, then give me as true, and if they are equal, then give me as false. And over here it is checking the other side around, that is if they are equal, it will give me true, and if they are not equal, it will give me false. If I run this program for now, it will give me this output. As you can see, it is giving me that output. So these are the relational operators. Now let's move on to a small part, that is the increment and decrement operator. Okay, so to understand increment and decrement operators, let's create a variable as 10, for example, right? So in increment and decrement operators, there are more types inside that as well. So in increment, there is post increment and pre increment. So let's use this variable I, and let's add 2 plus in front of it. And if I print this as I, and if I run this program, as you can see, it is giving me the output as 11, but we originally declared I as 10, but how it did turn to 11. So basically these increment operators add one number, that original number. So let's learn about pre-increment and post-increment operator. Okay, so to understand this, let's do one thing. Let's do println and let's do I++. Now the output should be 11, right? But since we are post-incremented it, the output will be different. As you can see, the output is 10. Why? Because we are first printing the number I and then adding the second digit, right? If I do the pre-increment operator, that is adding the plus 2 plus behind the operand. If I run this, as you can see, the output is 11. That means it is first adding that one digit and then printing the I. But let's understand this better by doing let's do I plus add a number, that is plusing, then again use the I as plus I. So what we are doing here is basically, so first we are using the number 10. Okay, we are using the number 10. Okay, now number 10 is incremented by 1, so 10 plus, that is this plus operator, then we are using the plus plus, then mine I. Now the number 10 is incremented already once, that means it will be 11, and then we are adding it once again, that means it will be 12. So 10 plus 12, that will give me the output as 22. So let's run this program, and as you can see, the output is 22. So this is the post increment operator. The same way it works in decrement operators, that is basically, instead of using the plus, use the minus. That means it will negate a value from it. That is, so over here, if you are using I minus minus, that means 10 will be used again as usual, then it will plus, then since it is using minus minus, so 10 will negate a value, that is 10 minus 1, that is 9, so this will be 9, and again we are decrementing it, it will be 9, that is 8, so 9 minus 1 is 8, so that is 8, it will give me the output as 18. As you can see, the output is 18. So these were the operators, the arithmetic and relation operators. That is how they work, and we'll learn about the next few operators in the next video. Stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. See you the next time.